here all day long.
Right.
Some of y'all might have some barbecue waiting on y'all somewhere. I don't know.
All right.
And I don't want you sitting there listening to me thinking I need to go crack that rib. Hello, somebody. Hallelujah. It'll be there later. Just warm it up. You know, it might not be quite the same, but put a little heat on it. It's still cheap. You still can eat it. Amen. Glory to God. The 53rd chapter of Isaiah. Here we go. Who had believed our report? And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He had no form, no comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrow, and acquainted with grief. And we hid it and were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he had borne our grief and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken and smitten of God, and afflicted. And the 5th verse said, but he was, that's the cross we're talking about. That's the beating he got. He was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement we deserved, the beating we should have gotten, for the chastisement of our peace was upon him. And with his stripes, Shebasha, we are healed. With his stripes, we are healed. We've been made completely in him. The grass withers, the flower fades, the word of God shall abide forever. Father, we give you praise and thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for these your people. Thank you for your spirit that ever prevalent. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in your name there, you'll be in the midst of them. And we celebrate your presence now. It's in the Master's name of Jesus the Christ we pray. For his name's sake we pray. Amen. I want to talk for a minute. Look at your neighbor and say, celebrating my independence. You may have to see the presence of the Lord. I'm celebrating my independence. The first thing we need to understand, we don't have to talk about what it means to celebrate. It just means to have a party. It means throw down. It means enjoy yourself. Amen. If nobody else celebrates you on your day, your birthday, or whatever, you're going to celebrate yourself. So I'm going to have to tell you about celebrating. I may have to tell you about cutting back on some of your celebrating, but I want to tell you about celebrating. We all know what it means to. Y'all want to say with me here? But the word independence, it talks about being free from influences of another. It talks about not being subject to their authority any longer. And so the backdrop is this. This is the 4th of July weekend, and our backdrop is this. Most of us know that in July 1776, that the Continental Congress got together and they declared that the United States was free from Britain. Most of us know this. I'm not trying to teach a history class, but I'm just trying to give you my backdrop of where I am, because it's important that we understand this. So if we understand that in 1776, they declared we were free from Britain, how many know that we weren't free from Britain until the War of 1812? We didn't get free until we fought that battle. But we didn't come to that place until the American Revolution. We didn't get to a place that we decided, I'm getting out from under this. Y'all know the story about Paul Revere and how he would ride his horse and warning that the British is coming. The British is coming. Most of us know that. Well, they had this thing they called the Boston Tea Party, where Britain was trying to charge us all these high taxes on their tea, and they got fed up with it and decided to dress up like a native Indians and then go on board the Mohawk Indians, in fact, and got up on the ship at night and threw all the tea over into Boston's harbor. So where we get the Boston Tea Party from? They had a tea party in Boston. Now let me tell you this here. They began to have these things happen, but they wasn't free until the battle. Now, some things you got to understand. If the declaration's been made that we declare I'm free. What happened in salvation, we have to make a declaration, I'm getting out of this. I'm no longer going to be held hostage to sin any longer. I'm coming out. Anybody with me so far? And when I look at it, God was showing me a parallel. Everybody, the world is going to be celebrating Independence Day. They're going to have fireworks and alcohol and barbecue and whatever else, and they're going to have a grand time celebrating independence. And I thought, you know what? The 4th of July is not the same for me as the other Americans. Because when the nation was free and declared their independence in 1776, but we as a were still in slavery. Even though they were declared independent, our captors had us in bondage. So yes, we were part of the American landscape, but we would consider it in America. Y'all still with me? And so even though they began to fight, began to do things, and the War of 1812 caused them to fight with Britain until 1815. But when I began to think about it and look at this thing, I thought about something else. Even though all this stuff happened, we didn't have what we needed until Abraham Lincoln stood up that day and spoke and said that, first of all, there's 2 amendments. There's the 13th Amendment and the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment deal with you having equal justice, the equal rights to the law, and you're equal as far as the law is concerned. But that's only because they ratified the Constitution and put in the amendment, 13th and 14th Amendment. And what I'm trying to tell you is that if they didn't declare that we had the same rights as a national born person or a nationalized citizen, then we'd still be under slavery. Well, some of us anyway. The rest of them might be dead. Because some stuff we ain't going for no more. Are y'all still in here? Now you might say, well, Pastor, what's that got to do with you preaching the gospel? It has everything to do with what I'm talking about. Because if you understand the process of independence as far as America is concerned, then you can understand that the Jews got salvation through God. But then there was some we call the Gentile that didn't have the same salvation. Although salvation was available, we didn't know about it. Here we go. Now, after all this stuff happened, and I'm throwing all this stuff out here because, see, some of you already aware of this. It's nothing new to you. Some of you already you might feel like you're back in school somewhere. I don't know. But when the war between the states took place, the South and the North was fighting, and this battle lasted from 1861 to May 9, 1865. And during this time, during the heat of the battle, Abraham Lincoln thought he'll strengthen his side by setting the blacks or the slaves free, that would cause them to turn against their masters and fight, help the Union win the war. It really wasn't about us being free. It was about them to have a calculated risk to win the war. All right. Anyway, y'all can say next week. And so, but even here, they fought, and the battle was over, and it was declared, it was officially that the slaves were free in 1865. In December of 1865, we were declared to be free. But again, we wasn't free until the amendments began to be passed. And when Lincoln stood up that day in January and spoke there in 1863 and told us the proclamation again. Let me ask you a question. You didn't know you were free until somebody told you.
That's right. Okay.
You didn't know that Christ died for you until somebody told you. You didn't understand what he went through to save you until somebody told you. And when you read history, we find out that they fought against the British. The British was fighting against France while all this other stuff was happening in America. Well, thank God, because all things work together for the good of those who love the God and are called according to his purpose. What I'm trying to tell you, you might not know everything, all the mechanics of it, but when somebody begins to tell you that you don't have to live in sin no longer, even though you were born like that, you don't have to die like that. I ain't gonna get too much help in here. I said I wasn't gonna be long today, but we were born under slavery, most of us. Hello. In our lifetime, we were born free because our ancestors became free. But I got to tell you, some of them came here in chains, but their babies were born in slavery. And because they were born in slavery, they were classified as property. And the devil right here, when we came into the world, the Bible says we were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. And so the devil thinks you are his property. You belong to him. That's why when a baby is real young, it lies when it's young. It'll tell you it's hungry when there's nothing wrong with it. I ain't gonna help nobody. Come on here. The baby wake up in the middle of the night just crying. You're like, what's wrong with you? You hungry? No, you ain't hungry. Just fed you and just laid you down. And they cry. Why are they crying? I don't know. Guess what? We don't know why we do what we do sometimes. Come on here. Flip Wilson said the devil made me do it. And the Bible, see, Flip Wilson was an old comedian way back out. You can Google it, you'll get it. And before Modell came on the scene, we had Jerry Dean. And Flip Wilson was a guy, he was dressed up like a woman impersonator, and called himself Jerry Dean. And he just paraded around and do his thing, just like Mr. Perry. He ain't new, that's old stuff. Come on, talk back to me. Yeah, while they were not here faking, we had Mount Maples, and now she was the best thing that happened back then. Anyway, I'm gonna get off the story. Here we go. When at the end of the day, no matter what had happened to us, we come back and realize that all this stuff had to happen to get us where we are. If we hadn't if they hadn't brought us over here on slave ship, then we might not be in this country now. And if we weren't in this country now, we might not know the God that we know. And because our slave owners taught us this Christianity stuff, hoping they would keep us in bondage. But the very thing they taught us is the very thing that broke us loose. Yeah, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for my good. I wish I had one or two persons in here. See, while you out here celebrating the 4th of July, go ahead and do your thing. Thank God for America. Glad America's free and all that kind of jolly good stuff. But I didn't get my freedom until June 19th. So when you celebrated June 4th, I'm waiting to June 19th. Hello, when I was a kid, we used to go to the park. Am I preaching too long? When I was a kid, we used to go to the park, and my dad and them would get to do barbecue, and we pull out the watermelon and red soda, and that was a big thing back then. Hello, somebody. But guess what? We didn't know what we were doing. As kids, we were just at the park having fun. Nobody took time to tell us why we were here in the first place. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you don't teach people what you know, they won't know what you know. And a lot of people are in sin because what we know we don't share. Can I tie these two together and make sense to y'all? So if we look at it, heaven was at war with darkness. Light and darkness was at war. And the spoil of war was you and I. The winner take all. Boy, I wish I had something. Yeah, I'm glad that the North and the South can't fight. Because at the end of the day, the winner takes all. And I came to tell you that if the South had won, we'll still be in slavery and we'll still have flags everywhere with the Confederacy flying everywhere. Hello, somebody. But thanks be unto God who has given us the victory. Am I doing all right? And so now we are the republic. And now the Republican of the United States of America have declared that we're not having this foolishness no more. And they did before we did it, because now in the 2016, if they came with their foolishness now, well, a whole lot of the, I just ain't got to talk about that. Thank God we saved. Saved and delivered. Yeah. Let me read my other little scripture and let y'all go. Because I told everyone I ain't going to keep y'all long. But when I started looking at this stuff, I think, man, I feel like a history teacher. I need to stop. Yeah. But I wanted to make sense. Have I made sense, y'all? Yes. Okay. I just wanted to make sense. I got one other scripture that I want to look at. It's in Romans, the 5th chapter, verse 7 and 8. Yeah. But when I look at the whole thing, I thought, wow, Christ went to the cross of Calvary. They beat him. Yeah. They nailed him to the cross. Yeah. He bled and he died. He suffered for us. But who told you? Who made it? Who told you about this? Who told you about this? Who told you about this? That he died for your sin. Who told you that? The bottom line is he died on a cross and he didn't have to do it. But I'm glad. What I say I'm going? Romans? All right. Romans 5, right? And 7, 8. If that don't find it, look for 5. Look, and so he died for us, and he died for a purpose. The purpose was that we have the right to the tree of life. Right? The Bible said that the enemy come to kill, to steal, and destroy, but Christ has come to give you life, that you may have that life more abundantly. What I'm trying to tell you is that he went to the cross of Calvary, died for our sin. He didn't have to do it, but I'm like that old preacher, I'm glad he did. Anybody feel it? Y'all all right? Am I still making sense here? Don't mean nothing if I simply make a whole lot of noise. I ain't making sense to y'all. You can sit out there, Pastor, will you hurry up, get through, sit down, and we go home, down. Come on. So I try to make sense. If I can make sense here, glory to God. Amen. So here, the 5th chapter of Romans, Romans, the 5th chapter, verse 7 and 8. The 5th chapter, 7 and 8 verse. For, he says, now let me do the 6th verse. For when we were yet without strength, in due time, Christ did what? He died for who? He died for the ungodly. Meaning we were in a bad situation. Yes. Born in sin, ungodly. Yes. Shaped in iniquity, ungodly. Man, we were in a bad way. But he died for us when we didn't have strength, when we couldn't do anything about our condition. You can't do nothing by coming out of sin on your own. But you have to accept what he's done to come out. You don't have power to come out on your own. If you could have stopped, you'd have stopped doing it a long time ago. I wish I had 1 or 2 persons here be honest with me. That was some things I used to do that I don't do any longer. But that was the time I did it and wanted to stop and couldn't stop. Thank God for his power. Am I making sense here? So he said, he died for ungodly, for scarcely for a righteous man will one die. I mean, very rare that somebody will give their life up for somebody else. He said, yet peradventures for a good man, some would even dare to die. But God committed his love, showed his love, and directed his love towards us. How did God show us love? That while we were yet where? Sinners. While we were yet sinners, born in sin, shaped in iniquity, born wrong, came here wrong. Little baby, wrong. Baby ain't done nothing, just came here and they were wrong. Guilty by association, sin. I ain't gonna get no help in here. Amen. Don't get too quiet now. Now the folks are, well, he ain't, the baby innocent, ain't done nothing. Well, his spirit, her spirit, is already guilty because of association.
That's bad. Have you ever been around with somebody say, we got to lock you up too because you were with them? Some of us know, but y'all heard about it though, right? And you warn other folks, don't be riding with them people doing stuff they ain't got no business doing. You know they doing something they ain't got no business doing. Tell them, stop, let me out. Isn't that what we say? Ain't what we do most times though. We're going to get away with it this time. You know, hope I can make it home safe. Come on, somebody. So sin have engrafted us into the penalty that we deserve because of association. But God has made a way of escape. God has cut the ties with sin in your life. And so we got to stop trying to reconnect that because God don't want you connected to it. That's why he cut you loose. Am I still making sense here? Have you know, here's another little story. When we was growing up in Trinity Garden, there was a group of people that stayed down the street from us. Their name was Pro Shades. Boy, we had so much fun hanging out with them Pro Shades. You Pro Shades? Yeah. All right. And we were hanging there. They were from Louisiana, I believe. And we had so much fun with them guys. Oh, God. And Mama say, I want y'all down there Pro Shades. Don't y'all be going down there. Y'all stay home. And Mom and Dad would leave. I'm headed to the Pro Shades. Skip school and everything. Hanging out with the Pro Shades. Got all kind of stuff I ain't got to get into. Out with them Pro Shades. First bike I stole with the Pro Shades. Taught me how to file the number and burn the frame and repaint it. I was with the Pro Shades. Had so much fun hanging out where I had no business hanging out. I want to tell you, sin is like the Pro Shades. Okay. You have so much fun, but you know you ain't got no business hanging out there. I don't care how many times you've been warned, don't do it, but they have so much fun over here. Anybody in here with me? Said, look here, I'm going to go one last time. We had a trail. Well, we hit that trail coming back home when I think it's about time for Mom to come home. Hello, somebody. Yeah, and I wouldn't come straight up Sandon Street. I hit the trail and go up Shotwell and come back down the back side of the house and come in the yard like I've been out here playing all along. Yeah. But guess what? She I don't think she ever caught me. Thank God. I ain't got no bruises, so I'm sure she didn't catch me. Because she didn't play. That woman carried a mean stick. Anyway, I ain't talking about that. Have a flashback and you have to give me some help or something. Come on here. But the truth of the matter is, sin is like that. While we having fun, we don't want to cut it loose. But you got to cut it loose. If Pro Shades them by chance listening to this, I want to put a disclaimer there. Y'all still all right with me? Yeah, I'm just saying. Truth is the life. Y'all know y'all was bad. Mama didn't want us hanging out with y'all. But boy, I had fun with you, boy. All right. So at the end of the day, when we think about the whole thing, think about it like this. That when freedom came, we didn't know about it. Well, let me ask you a question. Now that you know, are you going to live free or are you going to keep being a slave to sin? Really, those of you that are watching by internet, you're on Facebook Live or wherever you are you going to continue in sin now that you know that Christ has liberated your life? Huh? Don't continue in sin. The Bible said, shall I continue in sin that great man about? I'm closing my book here on this one little last thing. Romans 6:1. Look what it says. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that great man bound? God forbid. Not pastor, not uncle, not grandparent. God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Christ went to a cross of Calvary there on a hillside called Golgotha. We call it Calvary. And I want to tell you that I thought it was here. All my Independence Day message, everything needs to tie into this. And I thought about it. See, you don't know. The old folks used to say, his blood still works. Say, it never lose its power. For it reaches from the highest mountain and it flows to the lowest valley. I thought about this. Martin Luther King, when he stood up and spoke and gave the message on I Had a Dream, he talked about in the beginning of his message, he said this. He said, but we refuse to believe that the bank of justice is bankrupt. He said, y'all don't want us to be free. You don't want us to have our freedom and our civil rights in this country because you said that the country is bankrupt. He said, we don't want to believe that the country is bankrupt. He said, in fact, we refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the banks of justice. I don't know about you all. When people say, I can't change my life, you're trying to say God's bankrupt. When you say I can't stop sinning, you're trying to say that the blood that lost its power. But I want to tell you that there are no insufficient checks and no insufficient funds when it comes to the blood of Christ. What he sent it forth to do, it will change your life. If you're allowed to change your life, why would you continue to sin when Christ has paid the price, the ultimate price for your deliverance and for your salvation? But yet you decide, I'm not going to trust him because I like what I'm doing. I can't stop it. But baby, when you say I can't stop it, you're literally saying that God don't have no power. His power is weak. His blood is diluted. And I'm going to stay in the situation I'm in. I came to tell somebody, don't be like that. Stand up and speak up and say, I don't believe that his bank is bankrupt, and I don't believe there's insufficient funds when it comes to the blood of Christ. It still reaches from the highest mountain. It still flows to the lowest valley. His blood never loses value. Anybody in here? I'm through. I'm going home. I know I didn't close too good, but that's the best close I got today. Come back next week. I'll see if I can close a little bit better. But I want to leave that with you. I'm glad they beat him. I'm glad they spit on him. I'm glad he hung on the cross. I'm glad they pierced him in the side. I'm glad they put him in a borrowed tomb. I'm glad that he stayed there 3 nights and 3 days. And early, I said early, he got up out the grave and declared all power is in my hand. Anybody in here? I'm glad about it. Let's pray. Maybe you're here. Let's pray. Stand up. Let's pray. We're going to pray. We're going to pray. We're going to pray. Lord have mercy. You got your friend. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.